welcome to Furious Driving, and it's the day before the big day. Quentin is going for an MOT. Yeah, it's not going as well as it could be, to be perfectly honest. Well, I thought I would be clever today. Normally when these kind of things happen, I get up at way too late and then rush out and then wonder why the car won't start and why the car in front of it won't start and why nothing's where it needs to be and the cover won't come off and all kinds of stuff like that. Today, I'm being careful. I took the cover off. I was going to make sure the seat was back in the car, in the back of it. Drop in some fresh V-power so that it can be running on good fuel tomorrow. Make sure the lights are still working, make sure everything's up and running as it should be. Now, naturally, need to move the Alfa Romeo out of the way. This one has been on charge for a week. Shall I show you how it happens when I turn the key? That happens when you turn the key. I only managed to unlock the thing with putting the jump starter pack on it. And it has been on a trickle charger all week. People have said, oh, if you've got lots of cars, you should disconnect the batteries because the batteries will die. Well, it's on a trickle charger, it's on a conditioner, it shouldn't make any difference. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll jump start it from Quentin. You may notice the presence of a battery charger just there. This is with the battery charger turned on. I would move the Volvo across and jump it off that, but that is still missing its radiator hoses, so I can't run that one. I was going to give this capacitor charger thing a try, because the old-fashioned jump starter pack wasn't doing a single thing. And this is an old-fashioned lead acid type battery inside there, which is actually quite useful because it's got an inverter and a light and a pump, although the air pump, it turns out, on the Sinclair C5 is completely useless. No air was coming out to the end of the nozzle. This says... this might be too low for this as well, actually. Okay, with the big jump start pack on, this is now showing at 12.3, so let's give that a go. Awesome. To the rescue. Lucky I've got a set of mega long jump leads over here. Hope that'll start it. Right, here we go again. That sounds good. There we go, it's alive! Right, that one's running. That one's still running. That one's connected. So we go 3 for 3. Oh, thank you, Quentin. Cough into life, bit of life. That's what you always need. Super reliable, tough old German Bible similar on the fleet. However, this one, I made the mistake of turning off. It's now sitting at 8 volts, and even with the Alpha connected to jump start it, we've got a new problem. Remember this old game? We're getting nothing. No mobiliser, no nothing. Car's dead. Completely dead. Not doing the central locking, not doing anything. It's doing that, which I've not heard before. Like an old-fashioned teletype machine. Right, so I just stole the Rover 2000 battery, which is about twice the size. So if that will crank it over. It did open on the alarm a second ago, and the alarm went off. Thank you. Right, I can move the cars now, thank goodness. Well, that was quick and painless, and by quick and painless I do of course mean 40 minutes of ridiculous faffing, during which I may have discovered the extension lead to the battery chargers might have been unplugged. Don't know who did that. Anyway, let's go on to the car. Right, so engine bay wise, we're a little bit low on coolant, so I'll give that a quick top up. There's nothing else to do under here as far as I'm aware, apart from work out where that coolant leak is going to or from. That seems to be dribbling down on top of the alternator, which is probably fine. Alternators like coolant. I think they like to be kept cool that way. I'm sure it's fine. Yeah. But yeah, that does seem to have dribbled a bit of coolant out of there, and evidence just there. Sand and put some silvery coloured paint over that sill repair just there, and some silvery coloured paint on that sill repair down there. And as I drove away I realised I hadn't actually stuck the back number plate on, which is probably something they will look at. Also need to hoover out the water that seems to keep collecting behind this back seat, and put the back seat in. Now this boot plinth thing here is brand new. Well, not brand new, it was new from a viewer, Matthew. Thank you, Matthew, but I forgot to put the number plate on there. I'm not going to go crazy with lots of stickers, just going to use 2 because I'd like to get some nicer number plates. These ones are a bit garish really. I think these might have lost their sticky. Well, I did just whack a screw in it. It's not really pretty, but I'm going to get some new plates. There's a nice, useful place nearby called Perfectly Printed Plates. They can sort me as a nice either metal or acrylic or whatever plates I want to get on this. So I'm not going to bother making much of an effort at this because they are not staying there. I don't know who Sportline UK are. They're probably a fine company, but I don't like the red outline. Anywho, right, I'll just say I did have to use my... I've got an old cordless Bosch drill, which is okay, but the battery isn't very good and it's not very powerful. Don't know where that's gone. Found the battery, not the drill. So I'm using my ancient 1-speed Black & Decker. After the broken drill fiasco last video, what was I going to say? Yes, a few people just say I could probably replace the brushes on that old Bosch one because it's an old-fashioned, quite a high-quality one, which I'm going to give that a go. Meantime, I am going to take the suggestion, which a lot of people were saying, which I had thought of as well, which because I've got the Draper 20-volt Stormforce stuff, batteries and charger, just go and buy a bare cordless 20-volt drill, which I will do that in the meantime as well. But yeah, on the last live chat, a few viewers were incredibly generous on the super chat, so I've got a bit of cash in the bank, so we'll go and get myself one of those in the next week or so, I guess. Not much of a puddle down here. Even a little bit. I've only just laid the bench in place. Access to the seat belts is, and they work, so that's good. So I don't want to push that back in all the way because that's an absolute pain to take out again. And with the trimmer will need access to those side panels when he changes the roof. So I'm hoping we can avoid pushing that back down for the moment. Right, now the boot. Let's have a look in the boot. Well, look at this, actually, against all odds, bone dry. I had taken the wooden floor and the carpet, which I cleaned, out of here because I was concerned that they were going to get full of water or damp blowing through from the seat area. But that hasn't happened, so I can put that bit of hardboard and carpet back in and have a complete, nice boot. Huzzah! Well, it's not the best weather in the world for taking a convertible with no roof out. That's kind of damp. I've got gloves, I've got a hat, I've got a scarf, I've got a thermal vest on. Let's see if this thing starts today. Oh, for crying out loud. Seriously, I need to go and get a better battery charger. This is on the jump start pack now. Right, lights on, wipers on, gloves on. Oh, I was hoping it would be drier than this. The forecast was for no precipitation today. I'm really annoyed the fuel gauge isn't working still, because if that doesn't bump up, I put an extra 2 gallons of petrol in last night. Maybe a bump or two on the road will free it off. Oh, this is definitely the wrong day to be driving a convertible without a roof on it. I just remember what the other job I needed to do was. And that was tighten the alternator belt. Fan belt. A bit damp now, it's actually running for the first time. Maybe that's why it's not charging as much as it should be. So this is the first time Quentin the convertible has driven under his own power on a public road since I think 2013, which is a long time. Since I've had him, I have changed, done a basic full service, oil, filters, spark plugs, that kind of thing, cam belt, a water pump, drive belt for the power steering and the alternator drive belt, new discs and pads on the front, new exhaust rear section, have I done? I swapped the tyres over and the wheels, because the wheels were from MGF, which looked really good but didn't actually fit exactly right, and the tyres were cracking apart. So it's now got the wheels, original wheels of my Rover 220 Coupe on it, which is actually juddering a little bit. I wonder if I've got a flat spot on them from being parked a while, or if the tracking's not quite right. It does need the tracking doing by the feel of it. A little bit of a judder at low speed. I had a new alternator because the alternator wasn't charging. That actually is why the car was parked up in the first place, because the alternator went and the roof and windows were down. So that's why it got parked up and covered over. And then what else did we do? Put a new hood on the back of it, because the hood was rusted solid and the outer fabric had just crumbled to nothing. So so what was I going to say? Yes, so I put a new hood on there, found a really good second-hand hood, and I've now got a brand new hood cover, the outside, the outer of the 3 sheets of fabric, waiting to go onto it. Amazingly, luckily, whatever, all the hydraulic systems work. So you push the button on this thing, the hood rises up. It's fantastic. It's a beautiful orchestra. And what else have we done? A new front wing, because that was rusted. A little rusty hole on the rear arch and a little rusty hole on the sill. I've plated both of them with the welder. Oh, I changed the fuel pump twice, because the first time I put a new fuel pump in and it ran for a day or so and then it just packed up. So I had to take that back out and get it exchanged under warranty, which does no work, but that fuel pump is also a fuel sender and the fuel gauge is not currently working. So I've got a horrible feeling. I was hoping if I hit a couple of speed bumps in it, it might free something off in there, make a connection, but it hasn't. Oh, just a couple other little things apart from that. We changed the front headlamp, because that lens was stone chipped and cracked. Changed another light bulb in the front, changed a light bulb in the back, just odds and sods really. And of course the incredible mega interior clean, because the outside, sorry, the inside of the car, where it had been sat with the roof off for so long, was really not very nice. And of course we battled for a couple of weeks with the immobiliser. Eventually we replaced the MEMS in the immobiliser unit, got a new remote key fob for it, and that all worked. But I've done so many things to this car over the last couple of months, I'm actually struggling to remember. I need to list them all. Maybe I'll do like a scrolling list on the screen. Oh, the drizzle's stopping a bit, that's nice. Now I'm trying to drive it around on the way a bit to the MOT station, take a couple of side turnings, try and get a bit of heat in the catalyst. It's the first time the catalyst has been doing any work for the last 8 years, apart from sort of idling on the drive, shuffling up and down the drive a little bit. So it needs to be cleared out a bit. And also, it's got brand new discs and pads which have not done a single mile yet. So they need to be bedded in a tiny bit before it goes for the brake test. Oh, let's get some more heat in here. It's blooming freezing. Fan on full, heat on full. Turn off that cold air vent. Rovers, oh, that's supposed to be. Okay, now I'm glad I've got no roof, because the smell coming out the air vents is a bit musty. Once I've got a roof on this, I'm going to do one of those blaster things for the air vents. Well, this car's got 82, or just under 83,000 miles, 82,900. So it's about 50,000 miles less than my 220 Coupe, which is essentially the same car but with a bigger engine and a roof. I was going to say, yeah, so not very high mileage, so it does drive really well. The suspension feels quite soft and rolly. I have got that lowering kit, which I need to look at adapting the top plates from that suspension kit to fit this car, because it does look a bit like it's standing up a bit high. But I might not, I don't know, I'll see how I feel. We are back already. It's not even lunchtime and Quentin has been through his MOT already. You know, I walked back from the garage having dropped him off first thing in the morning. I walked back just in time to put the kettle on and ready for Popmaster, and the phone rang with the good news that he'd obviously failed on, but not too terribly. It's not a massive shock he was going to fail. It was always in the back of my mind that it was a fairly real possibility. I was weirdly hopeful though that the thing might actually go through, having done so many things to the car, and then having sat for so long in the elements, there's always going to be something. In this case, it's just two things, which are probably going to be impossible to fix. First of all, the windscreen washers aren't working. Now, if you cast your mind back to when we changed that red wing, the windscreen washer is up inside there, and it's all kind of hidden away. And I don't remember ever checking that after I finished putting it back in, or even how I routed the wires, and I can't find the filler neck. So I've got a feeling I just mashed it in there and completely forgot about it. So I'm going to take the wing back off again and have a look at that. Secondly, emissions. Emissions is always the bugbear of a retro 90s, 80s car when it comes to MOTs, because they just get absolutely killed on it. In this case, it's kind of strange. What he said it's doing is that after it's holding the revs high, the revs aren't dropping back to idle speed. So it can't get through the emissions on that basis, which means I'm going to have to strip the throttle down, and I don't think it's a sensor, I think it's going to be mechanically sticking somewhere, so it's a strip down and repair job. So one of two things is going to happen right now. It is Monday morning, and I am meant to be doing homeschooling right now, and so far it's 11:30. I've done none of that yet, so I'm either going to continue to neglect my parental duties and fix the car, or end the video here and you'll get a second video on the repairs and hopefully a pass in a couple of days' time. If I'm still talking to you on a camera in about a minute's time, then we opt for the second option. But if the video ends in a matter of seconds, then do please like, share and subscribe, and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to find out if this car does eventually make it through its MOT. By the way, do you like the yellow hats, the mustard colour? We mentioned them on the live chat on Friday. This is a one-off special. Mostly these hats are available in grey, which I really do like, and we have the black ones with the red writing, but I did a one-off in mustard, which a couple of people have said they like. I'm going to do a very, very limited run, maybe half dozen or so just to see how they go down. At least one, maybe two have already gone preemptively. If you're interested, then drop me an email, or if you want to get the regular grey ones or one of the black ones, then hit the PayPal address down below. Right, I'll see you again soon.